Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Anything But HoldEm. Tonight we are going to be playing some No Limit Omaha 8. The tournament has just begun. I'm just going to get the screen set up here. If you haven't noticed on Stars this week, it is golden sit and go time on Stars, which means it's a great time to find action at sit and go tables. And this is no example. This is an 18-person turbo Omaha high-low sit and go that I've just jumped into. They're filling rather quickly. Under normal circumstances, the sit and goes for the mixed games don't seem to fill quite as quickly as others. Alrighty, so we're getting sorted here. There's our lobby up. We got our table running. Alrighty, and we got ace 5, jack, queen with a couple of clubs. A little bit connected on both ends. The ace 5's not a terrible place to start for low. You're definitely drawn to the nuts there, so that's not a bad place to be. Up top, you're potentially drawing into a nut straight flush draw, so you can't really complain about that. So I think we're definitely in for 10 chips for this to see what the flop comes out as. Our flush is missed out, but we've hit our top straight draws. We haven't obviously hit the straight, but if we've hit 3 of a kind jacks, we've actually just hit quad jacks, which is a good hand for the record with ace high. I'm going to check through one more time, see if somebody wants to bet a king. I think a bet here is just going to get folds more often than not. So I'm sort of checking for value here, hoping somebody's going to try to either bet a king or bluff at this pot now. Try to rep the jack just like this person's done. So I think what I'm going to do is put in a small raise at this point. I mean, I've obviously got the nuts, so I don't want to go too crazy with this. I want to make it look like I'm potentially making a move here. If he's got a king, I don't really see him going anywhere. And in fact, if he's got an ace or hearts, I don't really see him going anywhere. He obviously doesn't have the nut heart draw, but if he's got a queen X of hearts, he's probably not going anywhere. I'm going to throw in a slightly more than pot size bet. Just thinking that might look potentially weak on my part, and sure enough, it looks like it's actually got the job done. Let's have a quick look at what he was playing on that hand. He folded a pair of nines with an ace 7 for low. There were he had no heart draw. So that's an interesting way to play that hand. He's pretty over aggressive on that. Hand, I think. I mean, he obviously doesn't need to be running up against us playing the nuts, but still, he's interesting. Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind. So it's nice to be back doing some streaming again here. I took a couple of days break. After 8 straight days of streaming and 11 episodes, just came back yesterday, did some Did some horse yesterday. We've got a big horse tournament coming up on Sunday. This is our weekly challenge. This week is going to be horse. Last week, our 08 tournament was won by my Poker News Canada colleague, Anthony Charter, who took the thing down. We had a pretty good turnout for it for the first week. It was a lot of fun. We had some good chat at the tables. It was good camaraderie. So it was a lot of fun, and hopefully people will join us next week. Welcome, viewers. Say hello on chat. If you were watching yesterday, my chat seems to be fixed today, I think. So I may very well be able to see what you're saying in chat today and even respond to you, which would be a remarkable feat of technology if that was in fact the case. So it would be lovely to see in chat and see if my chat is actually functional like I think it is. Chats or the streams get to the 4 of a kind hand. Cool. I mean, I think the check there is really all I can do when I'm sitting with, the stone cold absolute bottom end nuts. I suppose it's not quite the nuts, given that there could be a straight flush heart draw out there. But it's, when you're sitting with pretty much the stone cold nuts at this point, it's pretty decent. Pretty decent place to be. Now, the reason that I raised there was to make it look more credible that I was making a move and to give me the chance to bet on the river credibly. So it's hard if I only call for me to bet out, and if I check and he checks back, I lose value on the river. So yeah, I mean, I think that really I'm checking for value there. So I'd be curious to see what people think of that. Just flop top pair with the nut low draw, so I think we're definitely playing this pot. I think we're going to throw chips in and as a value bet here because we got a pretty strong hand at this point. Granted, we don't have diamonds, so anybody playing diamonds might be coming along for the ride at this point. So we bricked out our low draw. We keep betting, or we could check back here, which is I think probably the better thing to do for pot control. So we bricked out our low. We got a pair of 9s and 7s. He might have obviously sucked out a king on the turn, so that might be ahead of us. But I don't really think if he was to bet, we could fold. Equally, I don't think we're in a position to value bet at this point. So any bet that we make would be, I think, technically a bluff. So I'm gonna have to just check behind because I have showdown value with the 9s and 7s. And yeah, I don't really think he's calling me there once he's missed his low draw. I don't think he's calling me there with a pair of 3s. So I think I'm not getting much worse to fold, and I think I'm getting called by everything better. So I think we're going to fold that one out. We got a lot of straight possibilities there, obviously. The 7-8 diamond is a nice on the straight flush. It's just not a really good hand when you start to withstand pressure if you don't sort of flop huge on it. So besides, I apparently had a sixth sense that Maxim Gal was gonna shove her stack of like a billion big blinds at this point to win a pot of 135 chips. Seems to be not a really good math equation in my mind, but hey, that's just me. Oh, I got the wrong title up here. I gotta change my title. Gotta change my title. It's not the Sagan's Horse free roll anymore. We are playing 18-man Turbo NL08 Sit and Go. Same argument as last hand. There's obviously possibilities there, and it's in a straight Omaha high game, it would be the sort of hand that I would kind of salivate over. But in this case, it's even worse. We have no low. Last time we had a crappy low. This time we have no low draw, so that makes it even worse, I think. I've won a couple of these 18-man ones in the last couple of days that I've been involved in. I busted out 16th on one earlier tonight as well, so I mean it kind of goes both ways. It's really swingy, and I mean Omaha, you're going to get your money in. You're going to get your money in good a lot of times, and then not be anything close to good by the end of the hand. So especially in no limit Omaha, there's going to be times where your money just goes in when you know you're good, and when you also know that there's a good chance by the end of the hand you won't be good anymore. So that be Omaha, folks. There's a joke in Omaha that the worst thing you can do is flop the nut straight in Omaha, because you can almost be certain that if you're playing that aggressive somewhere down the road by the turn of the river, somebody's gonna flop something better than just the nut straight. Alrighty, this is a fairly pretty hand. We sort of wish that our ace was suited, but with the ace deuce and the ace king, we can't really do anything but at least try to get to a cheap flop on this. We could obviously raise here. We're in kind of early position. I don't think we can really withstand a ton of pressure with just the nut low draw, under the belief that, of course, well, not the belief, under the knowledge, of course, that nut low draw is just that. It's a draw. It's not a hand, and it's only a hand when three low cards that complement it come up on the board after the cards have been dealt out. So you really don't want to go too crazy with your nut low hands pre-flop, because they really don't necessarily end up as anything worth being around. Right, so the hearts came in. You would think that somebody with hearts would have bet on the flop, but that's not necessarily true. It's pretty easy to check a heart draw, a flush draw, and see if it comes in on the turn before you make your action. Obviously, our nut low has just been compromised by the deuce. We've still got a 5 ace, though, which is a reasonably good complement, which has also just been compromised. So the low came in. We don't have it, but we do have fives and deuces on a flushy board. Now, the fact that everybody's been checking lets me think that I'm probably good for high at least. Yeah. Yeah, you don't really expect two pair to win on a flush board like that in Omaha very often. I think ace king suited with the 6 and the 4 is certainly a good enough hand to be seeing some community cards with. I want to welcome everybody watching and listening in on the stream. We're playing No Limit Omaha. This is a Omaha 8, I should say. This is a 18-man sit and go turbo from Stars. It's of course the golden sit and go week now, so the sit and goes are filling up a lot more regularly than they usually do for the mixed game stuff. It's usually kind of hard to find a mixed game sit and go running, but lately it's been great. Been playing them all the time, and it's wonderful. Got in a couple of studs. I've got in a couple of these Omaha high-lows, so it's really good. Alrighty, so we got 3 6s. We still got a low draw with the 7-6 for ace. And of course, we've got the nut heart draw. So there's no way that we're going anywhere in this hand. And in fact, I think at this point we probably want to raise our friend Ivan and see if he wants to play for his heaps, because we really are in a position where we want to be putting in our money, and it turns out he does not want to play for heaps, which I don't blame him really, because I really doubt he had a hand anywhere near as strong as the one that we were playing. I'm gonna fold that out. Obviously, I could play. It's early position. I've been playing a lot of hands recently, and the ace three is obviously vulnerable to an ace deuce. Um, I think that's probably. I think I'm probably guilty of being a nit bitch in that case, but sometimes you can be a nit bitch. So yeah, if you're looking for some good mixed game action now, some off hold'em stuff, now is a really good time to go click on the sit and go tab and look at all the mixed game sit and goes that are running, because they are filling up a lot more regularly, and um, the competition is good and fun. And besides, it's golden sit and goes, so you never know. One of these days you're going to sit down and it's going to all the lights are going to flash and everything's going to go off, and you're going to get they're going to PokerStars is going to hand you money. I keep waiting for that to happen to me. It hasn't happened yet. I keep waiting for it to happen. One of these days, I'm sure it will happen if I play enough of these. Alrighty, so we got a pair of deuces. We got the our any good low draw that we had got kind of capped out with the deuce. I don't really think we need to continue here, frankly. I think we can fold. We're sitting fairly comfortable in the tournament now, given the blind levels. We are sitting at third of 13 right now. So 5 people have busted already out of our 18-man tournament. Um, we don't have a low draw here, but I think we still want to play this fairly aggressively. In this case, we're getting shorter handed. We're seven-handed now instead of being nine-handed like we were before. So I mean, I think that I can definitely open a little bit wider, and I don't necessarily always need to have a low to go, especially when the high is this strong. See what happens on the flop and go from there. I mean, we may just take this down pre, which is fine with me as well. I had a feeling that Silge was going to call there. So we've hit a queen, which doesn't really improve our hand. We still got a pair of kings, and we've got all sorts of straight draws happening, I do believe, as well. So um, there isn't going to be, in fact, there isn't going to be a low either, which is always nice to see on this flop. So we're going to bet and take it down post. My guess is that Silge was playing something like an ace deuce, ace three, ace four, or low cards anyways, and saw that flop and went, "Yep, nope, I got no part of this hand. We're getting out of here." Which we might well have done had it come up like 2-4-6 or something like that. No real reason to get involved with this, frankly, at this stage. With our stack, we're in fine shape, and there's no reason to go crazy. It is a turbo, so we do have to get involved more often than we would in a regular speed game. That's just a function of turbo action. The blinds are going to go up quicker, which means you have to play more hands, which means you're going to have to play hands that are not quite as strong. I think most of the 08 action we played to this point has been non-turbo. So we've probably been a little less active than we have in this one. I think this is another spot where we're in pretty good shape and we want to put pressure on the table. We are the big chip stack, and I think that we need to use that to sort of bully and put pressure and be raising people when we have hands that we want to play with instead of just calling behind to see a flop, letting people flop out on us. I think we need to say, hey, dude, you want to play for your 820 chips? Because that's essentially what I'm telling you you're going to do here. You're going to be calling half of your stack if you call. So, well, and I mean, we've obviously got the nut low draw. Um, we don't have a high at this point, but I mean, I think we have to put both of these guys all in if they want to continue playing. Oh, that was unfortunate. I think we're definitely going to put Silge all in here as well. Basically, that last time, there's nothing we can do about that. We're way behind. I mean, we're way ahead of Jonah. He's putting his money in way bad against the hand that we had in that situation. And he just sucked out. So that's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Alrighty, so we flop top pair. We don't have our flushes in play, but we've actually flopped two pair. I missed the six, so we've got queens and sixes, which is a reasonable place to be. We've got a 7-6-5 ace for a low draw as well, so I'm pretty happy to put money in the pot, make sure that Silge is all in, and I'm probably playing with Jonan as well if he goes any farther. So yeah, we didn't need that six on the end, but hitting the full house is always nice. I don't think we need to get involved in this under the gun. We know that Jonan's been fairly happy with playing against us and fairly eager to play against us and make high variance plays against us, which we don't mind, but we want to make sure we're strong. Now, of course, we just flopped 3 5s with this hand, which, obviously you'd rather be in this than sitting out at this point, but two suits. We have a low draw. It's not a good low draw, but we have a low draw, the 7-3. Um, the king. Both ends are somewhat connected, and we're somewhat connected in the middle. So, I mean, we've got potentially three straight draws. Um, oh, this is a tough call. This is a tough call. 850. I don't really think I'm getting odds for it, frankly. That was probably a net bitch situation, but this is another semi-connected hand. We've only got one suit this time. Same low, 7.3, so it's not great and it's not terrible. We're going to throw 75 in, see what comes up on the flop, and go from there. It's almost break time. Well, we pretty much flopped the nuts. We flopped we flopped the joint with the queen high straight here. We're going to throw half a pot bet in. We've got 4 people. Somebody must have a piece of this, you would think. Hopefully it's not going to be somebody with clubs that's going to draw out on us like that, which sucks. And actually, that even means that some of the like a 10 king has just capped us as well. So we're not in very good shape, or not as nearly as good a shape anymore. I don't think we can fold to a 5-1 bet here, but especially not after. Doesn't seem like a case of clubs. I think people would be a little bit more. I'm probably calling and losing to King 10. Yep, I knew it. So why did you call, you say? Well, because I'm an idiot, and even though I knew it, I still had to call and see. So there you go. Confirm what I thought. Alrighty, well it's good to have you here. We are playing the 18-man turbo no limit Omaha 8 sit and go. I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back shortly. Alrighty, we are back now. Got a minute to go in the break. My stack's not in great shape at the moment. I obviously just had a bit of a hit there, but I'm not too upset. We still got a long ways to go. Say hi in chat. Let me know you're out there. Let me know what's going on. Ask me questions if you like. Hope you can. Hope chat's working. It actually wasn't working yesterday. It looks like it's working today, but hopefully it's not. Let me know who's out there, anyways. Three of a kind's never a good place to start in Omaha. You only want three of a kind when it comes with help on the flop. If you've got three of a kind in the hand being dealt to you, it's probably not going to end well for you. So I'm just going to get rid of that in there. But my only other option is shove there. And I mean, a shove might get through. But I think given the recent history on this table, I think people are probably going to be prone to call me. No low here, but I think that this is one of those situations where I'm strong enough high that I need to make a stand. Hope that somebody's not going to call off with just a weak low or just a strong low even, and that turns out to be the case. Ace, deuce, four for low, two suits. I think we're in this one as well. We're actually in some ways happier if somebody calls us here than if somebody called us with the kings, simply because we had no low draw there. Here we've got both ends potentially covered, so although we don't have a made hand yet, kings isn't a made hand obviously in Omaha either, so you know it's not. But one of the things here, it obviously there was him up here, but I mean pushing into the small stacks. Wow, sucked out a 9 on the river. I suppose he was. No, I was ahead on with the ace. That was disappointing. Still think it was the right move, and it was disappointing. I don't think we can avoid. Wow. Yeah, it just is not drawing. It just is not drawing well for us today. Well, we finished in 10th. Not a great situation, obviously. I'm going to look for another one of these. They've been filling up relatively quickly, so I might find one to play. Doesn't look like there's one starting up right away for the Omaha high-low. There's three people and a horse that might fill up. Well, we might have to call this a night now that I've just busted out of the other one. Doesn't look like anything's going to fill up anytime super soon. Yeah, the horse is the soonest, and that's 3 of 8, so that could take a while to fill. Alrighty, well, I'm glad you came by tonight, and I'm glad you sat and listened. We'll be doing another show again tomorrow. We'll find something interesting to play, probably more of the sit and goes, and we will hope to see you then. Thanks for showing up, and come back to see me again where we play anything but HoldEm.